directed at the student athletes only for a few moments, and then we'll excuse them and then talk to Coach Morris. Same procedure, identify yourself and to whom you are, and identify yourself and to whom you're addressing the question. It'll make ASAP very happy if you do that. I think what they do, they'll send it to you, blast it out. JD or Jeff will blast it out to you. It's about half an hour or so after we finish each session. And of course, they'll print them out upstairs too. Coach, tough game tonight. Give us an overview from your dugout.
Well, I mean, they got a start on us. Mike gave him some opportunity. He's pitched great for us all year. He walked a couple of guys and hit a guy, and they got one hit that doubled down the right field line, and which was a huge hit for him with 2 outs. I was thinking we might get out of it with 1 run. And then he gets the 2-out hit, something that we didn't do when we had guys on base tonight. We had the bases loaded. We had first and second a couple of times and got third called strikes. I thought that when it was 3-0 and we came back and got 1 run, that the momentum kind of changed a little bit. We got to go right back out and stop them, and we didn't. They got 2 more runs and a 5, made it 5-1. And Bannister pitched a great game. He's got good stuff. Both teams played good defense. They got a big hit. We didn't. It's the bottom line, and they've got an outstanding club.
Okay, let's open it up. Susanna and Jill, we'll bring a mic to you. Let's start right here.
This is Mike Malloy with the Orlando Sentinel. Michael, just what happened in the first inning?
I just had trouble finding command, trying to do too much, and I just deviated from everything I said to do and told myself to do, which is not try to do too much, and I did, and I let them break it open in the first inning.
Okay, Kendall.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseballs for either Willie or Jacob. What was Bannister able to kind of do against your offense just to kind of keep you guys off balance?
He was making pitches, and he was throwing a lot of strikes and hitting his spots, and whenever a pitcher could do that, they're going to be successful. So all his pitches were getting around for strikes, and he continued to pound the zone, so he did well, and, we weren't able to get that.
Okay.
Yeah, he commanded all of his pitches, threw a lot of strikes, and we just didn't swing the bat when it was our time.
Okay.
It's George Richards, Miami Herald, Willie and Jacob, just a little bit. You guys had come back so many times this year. It seemed to be your deal. 10 stranded base runners. How frustrating was it to get guys on, especially with 2 outs, and not be able to bring guys home? Willie.
Very, very frustrating. Obviously, we pride ourselves in big 2-out hits, and usually we get them. But that's the game of baseball, and we're going to come back on Monday and do what we got to do to win a ball game, because that's what we always do. We don't stop fighting. Never in the game do we think it was over. We just ran out of time is the way we look at it.
Jacob?
Yeah, it was tough. I don't know. 2 outs is really hard to get a runner in to score in the College World Series. So I think we just got to do a better job getting the guys on earlier and moving runners over, bunting, doing a lot of things that we like to do. So 2 outs is definitely the hardest thing to do. You're in the College World Series, and that's a tough thing to do. And yeah, so I just think we got to do better getting runners on base earlier.
Next questions? Okay, any more questions for the players? Okay, guys, you're excused. Thank you. Jim, you hold on. We're gonna talk to you. Okay, first questions here. Aaron, for Coach Morris.
Aaron, D1 baseball coach. Obviously, the score was what it was, but did you walk away feeling encouraged at all by the fact that, hey, we hit these guys, actually, we kind of shut them down in the second half of the game with the bullpen? Are there some positives? You walk away maybe feeling okay?
Well, both those things are positive, and we played good defense and made some plays, but you got to get big hits too, and we didn't get to big hits. We left too many guys on base, which we've been getting big hits, and that out hitting and not out running, it doesn't work, and just the bottom line. So we've got to get big hits. We've been doing that. Got to credit Bannister, in particular. He pitched very well, but the lefty came in and threw good right behind him, and they outplayed us. They got the big hits. They got the big right down the right field line. One of them was a check swing that hit down in the corner, but they got some big hits when they needed them.
Mike?
Coach, you guys hit, you had 9 hits. A lot of them were line drives, 3 doubles, but I think one big fact is you only got the leadoff runner on once. How big of a factor was that, not being able to start the innings with guys on base?
Well, it's tough to do a lot because they're good. Their catcher's outstanding, and it's hard to run on them. We got some guys on. Hayward got a couple infield hits, one of them a bunt, and but we didn't get that big hit. It's frustrating when you leave guys on. And we took 3 third called strikes, or 3 big third strikes in key situations, and they were good pitches. They made good pitches, and but we got to get our hacks in that situation.
The challenge now is you guys came in here with so much hope, and now it's survival. How do you get these guys going for Monday? Obviously, win or go home Monday.
Well, you got to just think about it one game at a time. One inning, play the game, win a game. When you win one, and you think about the next one. You're not thinking about getting eliminated or. I don't think anything like that. If you got that in your mind, you're in trouble. You got to think about just going out and winning. Go out and do whatever you got to do. Keep playing good defense. Keep them getting 9 hits, but let's get someone with the guys in scoring position and keep playing the game. We've done that this year. These guys have played hard all year. They played hard tonight. We just didn't get the big hit.
Okay, Mark?
Mark Etheridge, D1 Baseball. You've been here many times, but it's always the goal of getting to the College World Series. How do you keep your teams from being too jacked up, too excited, especially early in this first game?
Well, I thought that was probably the case with Mike in the first game. I don't know about anybody else, but I thought he was a little excited, overthrowing, and didn't locate like he normally does, didn't get ahead of the guys. And their guy did. Bannister came right in right after they scored those 3 runs. Of course, that kind of gives you a chance to take a deep breath because you got a 3-run lead, and he came right back and boom, 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 was hitting his spots. And we didn't do that tonight. And the pitcher's the name of the game, as we all know. Whatever it is, 75% of this game is pitching, and we gave them some opportunities. They got the big hit. Give them that credit.
And over the years, have you seen that happen? With other pitchers, with other players? Is that a common problem?
Well, it's whoever gets hot. These guys are hot. They've been on the road 20 days to get to this thing. They've played in some tough situations, and to be able to get to where they're at, and they believe in themselves. They're well coached. They're some good players, and they hit line drives, and boy, that's what it takes.
Okay. Matt gave up. Okay. Back to you, Mike.
Coach, who's going to start for you on Monday? And then also, do you know anything about Santa Barbara? Have you had a chance to look at them at all yet?
I really didn't get to watch the game today because we went and took we went and took BP and got here in time. So we'll probably announce that tomorrow. And hadn't really thought about that very much. I'd like to see them play, and before we do that, so we'll see them on TV tomorrow.
But you haven't named a starter yet?
No.
Okay, any more questions for Coach Morris? Okay.
Okay, all right. Thanks.
See you Monday.
Thank you. See you Monday.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, once again, we'll have a short opening statement from Coach Johnson, then we'll open it up for player questions first. Jay, give us an overview, please.
Yeah, unbelievable atmosphere tonight in the ballpark. When you think about what it would be like or whatnot, that was it. It was a great crowd, exactly what we expected, anticipated. Earlier today, we kind of set out a roadmap for what we needed to do to be successful offensively, defensively, and from the mound. Nathan took care of it from the mound. I thought he settled into the game well against a really good offensive team. I thought he calmed his nerves early, got us out of a tough spot, and really found his stride in the middle of the game. Offensively, that's a pitcher that hadn't lost much over the last 2 years, and I thought our guys did a great job of competing, of hitting with discipline. You know, the at-bats that turned the game were all 2 strike hits, Jared Oliva in the first, and then Cody and Zach, who've been doing it for us all year, and then played very good defense. So feel good about it, get a good night's rest, and get ready for Monday.
Okay, once again, we'll get a question, get a mic to you. Kendall, we'll start with you.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Jay, looking at
Let's hold on with player interviews, player questions first, Kendall.
Okay. All right, Nathan, I guess looking at your performance, how did you kind of feel out there? It seemed like you were pretty calm from the get-go, and also just from a stuff standpoint, it seemed like you really went to the breaking ball quite a bit tonight. Just to kind of go through that with us.
Yeah, all year we've been preparing to, make Omaha. That's every team's dream, and just to come out tonight was really to enjoy the moment and have fun, and to play baseball with our teammates. And so the breaking ball was just started working for strikes in the dirt. Sal did a really good job back there blocking it, and Coach Lon did a really good job calling it in the right spots.
Okay, Matt.
Matt DeMarinis, Fighting Blue Review. This is for Nathan. Yes, when you're watching that top of the first inning, you see a base situation, possibly a chance to put a crooked number on the board. For you, what was the difference in the mindset versus getting 1 run across as opposed to stepping out there with a 3-0 lead before you even throw a pitch?
Yeah, that's huge when the offense, before I even throw, puts up 3. That's a good cushion to work with, especially in this park, and with the defense I have behind me. Just letting them make the plays behind me, and, that was a smooth transition.
Okay, Mike.
Mike Malloy with the Orlando Sentinel. Nathan, go back to the bottom of the 4th inning. That was the inning where you got hit a little bit. They had 4 hits on you in that inning, but you were able to come back with the bases loaded and 1 out, strike out a guy, and then get a weak ground out to short. What were you able to do in that situation, either pitch-wise or mentally, in order to get out of that big jam?
I think that comes with the 3-0 lead. To be honest, I could attack the hitters, even with the bases loaded situation. Don't want to fall behind, and to get that strikeout, Coach Lon called it perfectly. A couple breaking balls and then a good fastball outside. I think that was the right pitch, and that was a big second out. And then the next guy, top of the lineup, just trying to get an out any way I can, and good play by Boyd up the middle.
Teddy?
Mike Lanana, Baseball America.
Oh, Mike.
Zach, you and Cody, obviously seniors on this team and guys hitting at the top of the order. How important is it to you guys just to be able to set the tone offensively, especially early in a game like tonight?
It's really important. I mean, Miami's pitching's they have a great staff, so it's super important, including here. Not a lot of chances to get on base, so we have to capitalize there. But yeah, like you said, it's really important just getting on base, having the opportunity for teammates to drive us in.
Jared, you want to respond to that too?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all know our job. Just kind of our own, I guess, approach at the plate. You know, we had a game plan coming in. It was just a matter of us executing it. So we had to make him throw strikes, and it was just a matter of who can execute better and who would win the pitches. And I felt like we did that in the first inning, kind of got to him. And obviously, Zach drove in 2 more later in the game, and that was huge. So it was just a matter of sticking with our game plan, our approach.
Okay, back here.
Sean Ryan, collegebaseballinsider.com. Coach Johnson alluded to it, and you just started to allude to it, Jared, but for either of you offensive players, what exactly was the game plan going in against a guy who hasn't lost a whole heck of a lot?
Zach,
I mean, it was,
Zach, let's start with you.
I think just honestly sticking with our game we've been doing all the year or the whole year. Just laying off pitches in the dirt and making him get us our pitch, not swing at his pitch. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about not chasing balls, chasing his pitches. It's a matter of getting our pitch, something we could get a good barrel on. I mean, it's that simple, I guess, as you could say it. But it was just trusting the approach and sticking with it.
Okay, Aaron?
You're at 50 with baseball for Zach and Jared. With the success that this guy's had, and as a senior, kind of a warrior out there. Is he one of those guys where, you know, when he's on the mound, does it give you that little extra confidence? I know some pitchers kind of have that effect on their team.
Zach?
Definitely. I mean, like I've said before, I try to play hard with all our pitchers, but I play extremely hard behind Nathan just because I know what he's been through, and I have exceptional confidence in Nathan when he's on the mound.
Jared?
Yeah, so, I mean, all of our pitchers compete well, but, you know, when you see him, you know, just constantly pounding the zone, throwing strikes, always giving us a chance to win, I mean, it fires all of us up. You know, we want to do our part, do our job, and, you know, obviously try to win the ball game overall.
Okay, this will be the last question, Matt.
Coach Morris mentioned this in his comments that you guys have been on the road a lot and you face a lot of kind of situations that aren't necessarily comfortable as far as being away from home. How comfortable do you feel in these types of situations at this point in the postseason for any of the players as far as, you know, how far you can take this?
Nathan, you start.
I think over the last month, our team's really grown closer together. And we started in Eugene, Oregon, then went to Hawaii and Lafayette and so forth. And that really just gave us a chance to, you know, lose any attachments to home or road and really just focus on the game of baseball and what we need to do day in and day out to perform.
Zach?
I definitely give credit to our coaches and our trainer, Liana Olivar. You know, just making sure we're staying on track, you know, not going out late at night, just staying in bed, and she's hydrating us every single day.
Yeah, it's just getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, you know, that common saying. I mean, on the road 4 or 5 weeks in a row, you know, it's not easy at all, but we feel we've developed a good routine to get on the road, and coaches have done a great job making sure we stick with it. And, you know, it's by that time, it's just a matter of focusing on baseball. You know, everything's kind of done, all the drama set aside. You know, we're just really focused on the road, playing the game, sticking to our thing.
Thank you for the student athletes. Well, you guys are excused, and now we'll have Coach Johnson. Questions for Coach Johnson. Once again, raise your hand. Somebody, Matt.
Matty Arenas, White and Blue Review. Coach, last year you brought a Nevada team here, performed well. That was a team that was, you know, heading into the stretch run feeling good about themselves, and obviously didn't end the way you wanted it to. You didn't end up back here. But I guess taking from that point, from that series at Creighton to now, how does it feel to be in this situation, in the winner's bracket, in Omaha with this team?
Well, I'll answer the last part of that first. Feels good to be playing the night game on Monday. Yeah, that was a big deal, for me personally. When you talk about setting goals and whatnot, I thought I couldn't want to be in the College World Series worse than I did prior to that trip. And then you walk into the stadium, and it was actually cool. Creighton had like a military day or something like that, and there was 10,000 people in the stands, and it had a College World Series type feel to it. And we won the 2 games that we played here. And I walked back into the stadium and going, somehow, some way, we're going to get here. Somebody thought we shouldn't be in the NCAA tournament last year, and I think they're out of their mind, but that's a story for another day, and I'm still not over that. Yeah, to get back here and with this group, I'm very proud of them. And, the experiences we've had, we played a great non-conference schedule, working through the Pac-12 and then being on the road, the last 5 weeks, essentially. We were prepared to play tonight. And like I said, we had a good roadmap for what we needed to do, and they stuck with it really well.
Get back here in the middle.
Ari Alexander, KVOA News 4 Tucson. Jay, you've had Nathan Bannister pitching great for the last couple months. Was there something different tonight because 7 strikeouts looking and he was just able to carve the hitters up? Cody said it was deceptiveness. What do you think?
Well, I have to give him credit because I thought he handled the situation very well. We have the best home field advantage in the West in terms of fans and get a lot of people out to High Corbett, but that's different from 25,000 people. And I thought he was a little nervous early on. I think scoring the runs helped. I think he settled in really well. He can just throw any pitch in any count at any time. And being an offensive-minded coach, when you get guys doing that, it's really hard to game plan against and get guys, sitting on pitches and whatnot. And I thought he did a great job of hiding the ball. I thought he did a great job of getting them crossed up. And that's a good team. I mean, they spit on some pitches from him that other teams haven't, but he just kind of stuck with it and pitched well.
Okay, right here.
Jay, Jared Oliva,
Give us
Michael
your
Lev
name.
with the Arizona Daily Star. Jared Oliva is a guy who he was out of the lineup for a little while, hasn't been your most consistent hitter. How big was it for him to come through with a base hit in that situation in the first inning?
Oh, it's huge. And, I mean, we try to stay a pitch at a time, an inning at a time. And, the reality of it is it's a little bit easier to do that when you're playing with a lead. And we've been fortunate in 4 of the last 5 games against 45 whatever win teams that we've been out in front, 2-0, 3-0, and that's a credit to our players being prepared to play from the first pitch. So I thought it was huge. And we made a decision to get him back in there because he can win the game by himself. He's not as good a player as he's going to be, but he's really helped us here over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
In the back.
Hey, Jason Dobkin, Omaha World Herald. You talked about how you followed the roadmap tonight. What's the roadmap look like for Oklahoma State?
Well, and this is the honest truth, is I haven't thought 1 second about Oklahoma State. And I love the schedule of the College World Series as opposed to the regional round. We're going to have a sandwich, have a Diet Coke, and then I'm going to think a lot about the orange and black Cowboys over the next 36 hours. I know they're good, great coaching staff, great players. I watched the first 3 innings before we went and hit today, and that's a deceptive score, 1-0, because there were some pretty good at-bats taken in that game against 2 really good pitchers, and we're going to have to be prepared to play.
Okay, back here again.
Ari Alexander, News 4 Tucson. Jay, did some of the aggressive base running that you guys have done all year ended up in some outs tonight? Did that worry you at all that ended in outs?
And I don't even use the word worry or panic. It's not. We have a dictionary of things that aren't allowed to say. Those are 2 of them. But, Kyle Lewis, he played 2 games of the first 25, and he when we started putting him in the lineup, things changed for us. And part of his deal is he has to play hard or he's not a very good player. So I'm fine with that one. Zach's play was a little bit tricky. We never want to make the first out at third base. That's like cardinal sin, and I'm usually going to put somebody in the headlock if they do that. Not really. you know, it was a tricky play, and all the Miami outfielders are really athletic, and he got to the ball quick. So I made a little bit later decision to send Cody because we're not going to make an out at the plate with no outs. And by the time I got back to Zach, it was too late. So I have to wear that one.
Okay, Matt.
Coach, tonight we saw a lot of shifts out of your defense that, from our vantage point, looked like you're creating huge holes for Miami to hit into, but it ended up actually working out as far as how you were scouting some of these hitters. I guess, how comfortable were you with the scouting report you had for Miami and the way it worked out tonight?
Well, when you look at all of those offensive players in that lineup, I don't think the word comfortable comes to mind ever. But we do try to prepare well, and I thought, you know, Coach Brown in the infield, Coach Wanaka in the outfield did a nice job of placing them. It starts with your pitcher being able to execute pitches, and Nathan did that. So it's a good team effort. I thought one of the key plays of the game was the line drive, that double play, because it was 5-1. We had all the momentum, and then you get 2 outs on 1 pitch. That allowed him to essentially extend 2 more innings and change the game. So that was a big deal.
Ari Alexander, News 4 Tucson. Jay, after spending 3 weekends on the road against hostile crowds, were you able to hear the U of A chants, the Arizona chants, and maybe help a little bit having a more neutral crowd here?
Well, I definitely heard them, and it was nice to hear them for the first time in about 5 weeks. And, you know, it was a different environment. We talked to our players about it a little bit, and observing some games in the past, just even on TV, this can kind of feel a little bit more like a Major League Baseball game where, you know, you smell the popcorn and people are eating hot dogs and they're having conversations and, oh, somebody gets a hit, then everybody cheers, you know. But it was nice to have that presence. I mean, I looked up in the first inning and the first at bat, and they're waving the 3-2 rally towels, and I was like, we haven't had that in like 5 weeks, so that was pretty sweet. Anybody out in Tucson wants to jump on a plane and come out and add to that contingent, yeah, my blessing.
Dirk.
Greg Burnwell, he's sitting right back there.
Attaboy, Greg.
Dirk Chatwin, Omaha World Herald. Jay, when you're rolling like you are the last few weeks, I imagine the road thing, kind of the road warriors, might actually help you guys. What's the balance between kind of riding the momentum of being a road team week after week after week and being able to be together and focus and all these things, and sort of dealing with the potential mental exhaustion that comes with that too?
I think a couple things happened before the trip. Number one, we got out of school, and these guys take academics seriously, and they care about it, and so that's one stressor that's been off their brain. They like to sleep like all 18 to 22-year-olds, and we've stayed in pretty nice hotels and, you know, that cook breakfast for you every morning. So in some ways, I think that those two things have helped and have been an advantage. I don't believe in momentum from game to game. It's in baseball, it is a completely different deal. What happened tonight will have nothing to do with what happens on Monday night. So we go back and we prepare and do good things for the next, 48 hours or whatnot and get ready to go.
Okay, I have time for one more question if anybody wants to take it. If not, we'll see you Monday night.